Right, I Bulgaria TV. Obesanya live or the blind historian. And a blind Bulgaria official. The channels the doors. But we main one in the Bulgaria TV. I know like no subscribe, no share. I was there. And then Ghana. Original Ghana been 66 years. And you share Mumfa phone into baby. You share Ghana history. Abakwa Semno. Producers no Ralph Gabi Suya stand-up producer. Osho Kessie, senior man, also the short man, also was our Boama Bibiakos. Now, no, no, yeah, share or minor the road to Ghana's independence. What is it? How did we get our independence? How did we become a republic? And no, you better share any way. Now, you better start your fee, baby, near the Aquacosi baby. Bidiani Bulgaria, the blind historian, who bet my friend Malik afraid. And I say, I do I know about. Bifia Siakwa, and I'm a science fee a monocle. Edi stadium. See a shed gun a minor Bakwasama. Quite fast so independent and a republican. Ye besha see 1831. Emra treaty, the Treaty of Fomena. Yes, here. A brophone as antiphonical signing treaty say, Momo twin share fantiphone to be. Obeka time a brophone bar. We need a young shadow co and which young shadow coach in the breed. Cause Cotoconia smart in tea. Me pentema quacoya analysis. Tea may shadow coach in the breed. Eh, Obeka time a brophone bar. Na almost share yen an animating one or Muku. Ubona Holland for Asante na British for could do Fanti no more. Enti Ura 1823 in the Battle of Samako. Na sa the Battle of Samako no ana Asante no bo modia ku British soldier be an friend say Charles McCarthy. Enti ma British for ni lose interest. Gold Coast ni man say o maimu ha. Enti Ura British merchant na omo boabo omo ana omo yi obi a near friend Ura Captain George McLean and Odi Omonim Emma Omobetana ha 1831 Omone Asante Phone signing treaty. The almost signing treaty no 1844 British phone who said Diana you know and Omo smile a branch be an friend Commander Hill a buy. Now Commander Hill buy ono so near na nanom be signing the bond of 1844. Now the bond of the 1844 no and market the beginning of colonization. The beginning of colonization. TME, the bond of 1844, and the market the beginning of colonization. And he almost signed on the 6th March, Saturday, Tuesday, 1844, or calendar now, 6th March, 1844, Tuesday. And he, I am for signing, no more Maku, Edu, and Kong, the 11 fancy chiefs, and Wasa, Asin. Dentra. Just the western side of the land, no more be count. We need Banum na count, we no signing. Now, almost signing the bond of 1844. And what you know, and a Commander Hill Corps and a British one signed it, another hill we buy our near friend, Captain Stephen John Hill. That's how Stephen John Hill, one no buy our dim Rebia near friend, Porter's Ordinance, a buy. Na Porter's Ordinance no. Na say if you be no, say you 1 shilling. E dey ma British governor no. No mo kire say e no mo dey be development ama Gold Coast one. But ye na nanom resist here. Ora atimfo na nipa omo di kan resist here. The Porter's Ordinance na anche by 1850 by 1852 na collapse. Na Yaka Gold Coast Gold Coast no enye Ghana ha ina na Gold Coast se yaka Gold Coast na Gold Coast ne Accra ediko Central Region Fanti side wo ediko Katakorade na uko voter Aflao side wonum honum nya na Gold Coast no uba east near Eastern Province that is where the current Eastern Region na enye Gold Coast na Eastern Province ansane the Ashanti Protectorate the Ashantis became part of the British colony in 1902 after the Yasantua War. And Omubeka British colony. Germany from the Ashanti protected. And the Northern protected. I know surveyor be a friend. George Ekin Ferguson. Utieni pa SSN tieni George Ekin Ferguson. Onuna oko survey the northern land now, north for no so ebeka British colony no in 1901. Na ye kan abakwasem no ye beko we no muboso ye kan ye dini na abeto aso ama mo nyamo. Enti after 1852 no and Tokobishan also between the Ashantis and the Fantis, which is the Kwesijani War or the Bobikuma War in 1863. Now, Enumuno and a Fantifone who said, Charles are British for Omuyasa, Omuye divide and rule. Me person me kind level. See the bear Biabe who send a make a story. No Mobetias here. In TSA, I fire wandering. In Tiabe form will be a friend of the Fanti Confederation. In 1867, November morning of Trans, who said no. I said, yeah, Fanti Confederation. I protected them because these people could not protect us. The Ashantis, in spite of the bond of the 1844, and Britain for that sign, 1844 bond, and yet Gold Coast are in Funina the sign. The Fanti and the Western chiefs and the Chinese are born. In spite of Sabon Nina, Omontiman share so I'm a Santifono, Abe Atake, it's Chalico for Muyasa. I form a confederation. In 1867, and a Fanti Confederation nearby, and 1868 January, and a penny for a madrid and no. I say Timebomodia form of Fanti Confederation. I am for now Winiba, Cape Coast, Abra, Mankesim, Sopon, Elmina, I sing Omuina or Madrid said Debbie, Omobabe 18 Fanti Confederation. Now, not a British for new year, and a British for new said, for a diagram, but independent and almost fighting for. Until almost you divide and rule tactics. Once a divide and rule, I can was in power. Ghana and penny for Nina, and one who used to divide and rule. Me and my Sabakubia or Manefem, so tactics no, on Fanny Agro cry, divide and rule, the Nijum power. And penny for no Ghana and in us be brain. Divide and rule now, politicians and one who use Machiavelli, the tactics back on no. And British funny or Madrid say, Kofo Omu mafia, Yomueno, Omu person independent. I say you use tactics via the better tium. Into Omu use chiefs no. Say Kofo Omu, you should rather be the clear representation of the people. Munesa more represented. Once a British colony, British foreign started colonization. You two forms of colonization, and West Africa, you the indirect rule and assimilation. Assimilation, French one they use assimilation, but French for assimilation, chiefs they were not recognized. One, they were not recognized. That by the British say they will recognize the chiefs, so they will rule you through the chiefs. And think Omuma commander, command no man, the chiefs na chiefs at the command na bremo. Sine bear inquiry say. Yen Yama command, but we command if you want chiefs or in 10 years indirect rule, the indirect rule system. And no Nipa or profane, Sadia near friend Lord Lugard. He was a governor in Nigeria between 1902. Lord Lugard. Or no, this are divide and rule tactics no. Ebai. And also the indirect rule. Eti Omuyasano, they succeeded by arresting the Fanti elite. Enti Ama Fanti Confederation and to me understand it. In the year 1873-1874, Satana Santina no near friend Nana Kofi Kakari. Britain for the Sanya Santifono Kuntokwa. Na Santokwa we near friend Sir Garnet Wesley War. If it's a British soldier no deep Ntokwa and near friend Sir Garnet Wesley. Sir Garnet Wesley. Sir Garnet Wesley. Sir Garnet Wesley. Na enam say Yena nanom entimia modini ye no ena mo fe no Sagranti war ne mum ni dian sansa de na ye Sir Garnet Wesley na ono na omukọ to sha asantefo so attack Asante Kingdom no ema Asante na no wo ane frɛ no Nana Kofi Kakari edwane a yɛn hu ba bi ofae enti British no attack Asante fo no na enumu ana in the year 1896 omo be fa Asante na ne frɛ no Nana Prempeh the first ɛkɔ Seychelles na ɛno na yenya oba ne frɛ no oba hema ya Asanto a na ɔyɛ Joso hema ɔno no sorry sɛ dabi yɛntia ho makwasi kokɔ ɔno no yɛ asonani na ɔyɛ asonani yɛka asonafo yɛ nipa ɔmo yɛ akan ebusuaku a ɔmo akraboa ɛyɛ ɔwɔ kokɔ ɛna kwakwa labi me a mete yi me asonani asonafo yɛ nipa a ɔmo ho afɛ paa ukɔ ɔchimema a achimebu akɔ a asonafo ne di ade wɔ ukɔ ofin so a asonafo ne di ade wɔ ukɔ dwo so a asonafo ne di ade wɔ asonafo ɔmo nchifi adanse kuro bi efrɛ ne kokobiante ɛne adanse seben so ɛhɔ na asonafo ɔmo nchifi na sɛ abusuanum na ya Asanto afi wobɛka a meka the battle of Samanko. After the battle of Samanko no yenya the battle of Dodoa in the year 1826 and also Britain for ne Asante for ne ko na achimebu akwafo no ekɔboa British for no na satam na oba na ye ohima san ye ohene wa achimebu akwa ne friend Nana Efia Dokua na saa oba we na conquer a great warrior bi ano wa Asante mema ne friend Opoku Frede na saa ntokwa no na Asante hina no wo ne friend no Nana ɔsɛe yaw akoto a odikan otumfo Nana ɔsɛe yaw akoto a odikan ɔno no bedi Nana ɔsɛe Kwame Asibebo nsu ade saa ɔhene wei emre so na the battle of Dodowa no ɛkɔ so anase the battle of Akatamanso no ɛkɔ so the battle of Akatamanso no ɛyɛ de ɛkɔ so in the year 1826 na enum no na Asantefo no edi nkukuo omudi nkuku omutua gold bi ni nyama bi ma British for no na Asantefo no pese achimebu akwafo no beboa mu na abrofo no tie na omu ni achimebu akwafo no kodi nkumo no se se mo de ani mo a etien ne ma enya edin ye nhwe ma ne nsɛe no ye ni mo a na de na mo pese mo ko mo fa echi na ohima Dokua ka so dabi ye ni mo ye nkofa ne de ye nhwe ma ne nsɛe entien ne ma enya the term ochiman ye nhwe ma ne nsɛe ochiman yenhwe mane say yenhwe mane say no eyenkitawudi a course between the people of Achimebu Akwa and the British and ma yen di ochima yenhwe mane say no na enu mu na mesambra say Garnet Wesley war no so British for no conquer Asante for no in 1896 on befa Prempeh koy and almost had in the bar 1925 ti yenya obahima ya Asanto asori e ma ya Asanto awo enu course between 1900 and 1901 nemum and tokwa mu no Asantefo na ne koyi ya Asanto amai on say before the me come asema obi fu say bia me pam asem obi a ono sorry say all kwama ne man no ono an nkofo ne koyi ne man e ma British for ne chi no e de ne course Seychelles obi nemum Nana Prempeh de obai nemum ya Asanto ama nti Nana Prempeh bai no they didn't recognize him as an Asantehene but they recognized him as the Kumasi chief until 1935 Nana Osayaji my Prempeh the second where the current Otumfo said to abebi o ne wofa no and osan beka Asantemai bo ma yenya Asantemai bi no enti abakosem na ne eguso ka no enti yawura 1900 nim enti yenhwe nyama ekoso ewo Britain for any Ghana for them enti in the 1916 yebenya the Clifford Constitution the first major constitution in the Gold Coast yebenya the Clifford Constitution in 1966 na yenhwe governors a ebedi Gold Coast ne so ansana yenya independent yenhwe bi Osha after George McLean who was the first governor no yenya Commander Hill yenya Major Stephen John Hill yenya Governor Richard Pine yenya Frederick Hudson ono no ko demande ne mre so na ya Asanto awo no ekoso ne mre so na ya Asanto awo no koso a na o demande se Asante emphasica kokko ana golden stool no emra no yenya ono ene yenya Governor Clifford ene yenya Governor Sir Frederick Gordon Gorgesbeck ene yenya Sir Alan Barnes yenya Sir Gerald Cressy yenya Governor Lord Listowell binum keka ho but these are the major governors yenya ya ansana yenya independent na me kai mo say we ye oman no Ghana abakosem independent as part of the 66th anniversary and a Bulgaria TV yes we had the Ghana abakosem ebremu aya no like no subscribe no share enti in the 1900 no ye benya the Clifford Constitution in 1916 eno achi no and ye benya governor bi ane friend say Frederick Gorgesbeck or a Canadian British born onu hwe na or a Canadian by a one Britain automatically he become a British citizen but he is a Canadian. He is one of the best governors on my Gold Coast Asana independent. He was a governor of the Gold Coast between 1919 and 1927. 1919 and 1927. 10 years 1919 and 1927. Now anomuno ana sa Gorgesbeck no in 1925. Ye Clifford Constitution if you ama Gorgesbeck Constitution by nenu nyenya the elective principle say Ghana for depending on your property awo no ubetumi ato aba nti ye use universal adult suffrage and the DS ade na samra samre ne ukoso no na before no ana Ghana for no omoni te kakra nti na satam nationalism has started nemum your two type of nationalism you're the proto nationalism and you're the militant nationalism. The proto nationalism and nationalism between 1917 and 1939, and the militant nationalism here from 1939 to independent. The difference is the proto nationalism and the militant nationalism now. The proto nationalism they were using legitimate means. They were using things like speeches. And the proto nationalism now. Yenya group be near from Aboriginal Rights Society Protection. Aborigines Rights Society Protection. Aboriginal Rights Society Protection. Kanamintie Aboriginal Rights Society Protection. Mr. Prakubosu Kanamintie Aboriginal Rights Society Protection. Omuna in the year 1897. In the year 1897 on August 4th. Abrofone ya omadwin say omo and sasibi organa omo be declare say a no man's land. Na sans asini na ebe queens die ebe queen ano at that time Queen Victoria ne die eno na sampani fo ye o madwe se emmaso ne na oman bia organ ha bia no asase bia organ ha bia no it belongs to the living, the generation yet unborn and the dead intieni asase bia enye no man's land nti asase bia wa man mu aya the generation yet unborn, the living and the dead omodia na mpanifo bi say Jacob say John Mensa Sabanom omu ina Jacob was say omu di mu akote pa e o sa group yi lawyer John Mensa Saba ye de Mensa Saba ho atonu any opani Jacob was say ono no a rich merchant ono omu di mu akote pa na Aboriginal Rights Society Protection na nya political party nemum na a nationalist or a political movement na omo no throw letter e come at the British Secretary of State no wa near friend Joseph Chamberlain kanaminti Joseph on say o play bia your friend Alex Oslin Chamberlain wa boss na da sisi akwa wo Liverpool meaning say na nane sa akwa we dia Joseph Chamberlain on no the Secretary of State at that time omo throw letter come no say and a British Parliament agitum menka mo say sadie we are Aboriginal Rights Society Protection for a boa Gold Coast because enu na the major problem so between British no South Africa onum and Zimbabwe in sase bebre here before ni dia abrofo na gi enu na General Robert Mugabe obaya na all try say all gigi before sase dia mama abrofo ni hu say o eni papa ni no because se kasambra na ma ene yetina ho ye din a nka nei Ghana nka ye obabi wa nka wo Ghana ni untimi nko ka baby ti se cantonment ka Ghana ni untimi nko abrofo no be fa say yomo dia ka baby ti se East Legon wo Ghana ni untimi ntra ho ka abrofo no be fa say yomo dia enti sadie we a Aboriginal Rights Society Protection for ye omo boy enti yɛbɛnya nationalist movement bi te GWBC ɛne West African Student Union ɛna West African Youth Link na ora Isaac Theophilus Wallace Johnson nom ɛda no ɔmo nyinaa ɛbɛpay ɔmo dues na ɛnum no ɛna 1925 ɛhɔ na mɛwɔ yɛnya Gorgeous Best Constitution Gorgeous Best Constitution no Legislative Assembly wom Judiciary wom Executive Council wom ba ne nyinaa mu no na abibifoɔ no ɛnnɔɔso na abibifoɔ no ɛyɛ two pɛ ebia executive no kwa de na bibini bi anka ho the first time abibifoɔ kɔ Executive Council no was in the year 1942 ɔkye hia no 1943 near friend Nana Sefuriata the first ni dimpa de Aaron Eugene Boache Dankwa ɔne owura lawyer Akukosa obey the first black chief justice of this country Kwame Nkrumah yi nadi in 1963 ɔmo the first people ɔmo kɔ Executive Council in 1942 na metwaso enti after Gorgeous Best Constitution no 1927 no governors bebree by na no man a woman agitation se koso in the year 1947 tienie April 17th and ora bi an friend George Alfred Grant satam na ora JB Dankwa ora JB Dankwa ono na GWBC no dimu akotipa anti ora J.E. Kisleyford no dano owu in the year 1930 no JB Dankwa be take over ono be form group bia near friend the Gold Coast Youth Link nti wo between 1930 and 1950 JB Dankwa or dominate your politics mu Gold Coast anum ye and menka mo say JB Dankwa na convince Asanteman to be part of this Ghana, the new nation Ghana. JB Dankwa and the Kohun Nana se Osayaji my Prempe the second and then the Kasai to join Ghana because we Asante the nan komo per federal state. Senko bia nyane mai nanka yenya one governor na nemum obia nyane mai na Asante the per federal state. JB Dankwa ya yenyi na ya okowu prison ya ono no convince Asante to be part to join the new nation Ghana. Na me go so to aso. Enti wo hwa 1935 no 1935 time of British no Asante be a part of the protective no Asante was administered different. Na Asante different. Omuma Asante different administration. So they call it the Asante protection. Enti enu mo na 1947 yenya amanyoko bi na friend the United Gold Coast Convention. And no on the 17th April and ora George Alfred Grant aka Pa Grant obo modian any a lawyer from pennyphobi to say ora JB Dankwa William Oforiatta Edward Kufuado Akwaje Obeche Bilamti nom ekasa ya nipa be 72 and of course our conference now omuti amanyoko bia near friend United Gold Coast Convention na amanyoko no mo aim ni say no mo bepe independent ama o my Ghana na wohwe independent na no mo pa ma Ghana na sam panifo ni na no mo ya lawyer for enti no mo hia obi a obe permanent secretary obe running the day-to-day affairs of the political party eno na ora Ebenezer Akwaje suggest na danfo bi a na friend Kwame Nkrumah na otia brochira na sebi ne ho kire no na ne obedi kura din ma no oh yes it's a fact the obedi kura na din it almost suggested say young Kofanamra na omeboa administration the running of the day-to-day affairs of the political party. Ena JB Dankwa enombo modi atwa ticket ekofa Kwame Nkrumah bae nipa okofa Kwame Nkrumah bae driver okoshia Kwame Nkrumah seaport half a snake ekofa ne bae last year ya no your friend Yauteti Oforiatta me ansan sama konfie ni na kodi komoda. He is one of the sons of Nana Oforiatta the first. Last year ya no ya ni baby koe openi Yauteti akra baby ya obi anya me fa okrensi enuti Kwame Nkrumah bae na Kwame Nkrumah bae no or arrival on December 9th 1947 omo di omo asem to menanim ono so agree say obey the permanent general secretary of the party na den na Kwame Nkrumah ne Dankwa no montem tete Niemo Muntempty and say one ideological difference. Kwame Nkrumah was too radical. By Dankwa, one no per se, you use legitimate means and for achieve your aim. Enti Osha Adia Bema Omuntempty Kessia Pano on the 28th February 1948. Asem Kessia is your Ghana. The killing of the 3S servicemen are leading to the 1948 route. Now 1948 route no any man UGCC leaders. Now UGCC leaders are omuno. Amuni ora JB Dankwa. Now JB Dankwa na bako sem say ye 21st December 1895. E kuro bi e friend ko obepon. Na oyo this year kese e achimebo akwa oya sunani. Na ni papa ene nana say Oforiata the first. Debi sorry ni papa ni nua mum ene nana say Oforiata the first. Omo ye eja ba akoma eye ura ye friend nana ya oboachi. Na nana ya oboachi na bakwa sem say ofidwabin okadwabin fo na omo fi entokwa eba mra asantene abrofo ne kokun the battle of Akataman so ba no asantene dwabin enya ntokwa nti oka dwabin fo na omo free dwabin mem betna ochimem no na oka omo mu bi na no bo ochiman na kirema nti ochin na ona no bo ochin ya kirema nti ochin di odihye kese pa na owoche bi ema ne wo ba ema akola ne be ye ochin na owuye no ena yesan de osunani a onu sufi adade ntem ema na one ne wu obi se JB Dankwa nti JB Dankwa ye no 21st December 1895 ewo kwa obepon na oko school ewo begro ne nema ana obetu abrochire obenya PhD in philosophy. He was an astute lawyer practicing inner temples. On no form the Gold Coast Youth Link. In the Waxing Commission of 1948, he was declared as the doyen of Gold Coast politics. On 4 February 1965, and Unyani baby ko yaya in Sawan prison. Now, ono any ni wafase Ura William Oforiata, the big six no maba kwasem na mede tu dano William Oforiata. Ono de no ye nana se Oforiata ba. Ne ba odikan ono ye wono 10th October 1910. 10th October 1910. And ye wono ne maame e de abana benewa. Ohene ba abana benewa. Na JB Dankwa so na ne maame de Lydia Ekua akoma Krantema. Na William Oforiata also was an astute lawyer. In 1979, or contested for election Ghana on the ticket of United National Convention. Now, over 1977, so now Oka People Movement for Freedom and Justice and our PMFJ now Oka now oni ora Edward Ekufuado onu neba any the current president of this country Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado into share mpanifo miensen a wo mu ina related to Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado uhwa JB Dankwa Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado ne maame ne wofani mpompa na uhwa ora William Oforiata ono so ya Nana Ado ne maame ne nua bema ni mpompa na uhwa ora Edward Ekufuado ono so ya Nana Ado ne papa na ono so papa ye wono aye ohumomo boso me da na etoso aduonu nsia afi apem ahankuru ni nsia 26 June 1906 ene wo papa yi awofia kropon ono so oni nemu akọ achimota senior high school no koshia eye right friend Adelaide no ye ochi Nana se Oforiata ba eye maame Sylvia Adelaide yebu akua Ekufuado ono honum na okoshia no wohwa papa yi ono so ye lawyer senior lawyer ono so be lawyer kese pa. After the overthrow of Nkrumah in 1966, he became the Chief Justice of this country. Then, from 1970 to 1972, he became the ceremonial president of our land. Usha, Kitawunsa, Bosome de Tosu Duns on 17 July 1979, and Onosu Onya the baby boy at the age of 73. Let us say, Ura Edward Ekufuado. Ana na branch bi kan wa friend no Ebenezer Akwaje ono not kuro bi friend no eje kurom ukọ ufi osim ekọ begura o kwan ne so ono your friend Ebenezer Akwaje ye ono 1916 ono so no a lawyer ono kofa Kwame Nkrumah bae ana yima no odakwe obeche bilanti ono so ne ba ana no ye oka ohwa election petition hearing the course in 2012 yenya branche bi na friend Jake Otanka obeche bilanti ne papa ene sa yima no odakwe obeche bilanti no ono so no di UGCC ni makote pa ono na Kwame Nkrumah ema yesie na sie mu no yesie no obra wonwie ni na Kwame Nkrumah ni ama obeye ni bi no o ma yesie obi obra no wonwie sa papa we na meka na asem ena Kwame Nkrumah na account na sa nipa we ni ye arrest omo say they are the brave behind the 1948 route na enumu no ena ye release omo no omo take commission bi a ni e frɛ no waxing commission na waxing commission no omo frɛ sa nipa no mu nyina but Kwame Nkrumah de omo frɛ no nti enu achi no ena nya the Kusi committee omo edit the 1951 constitution no by the 1951 constitution ebema ya to aba no by enti eno na ma omo ntem tete ya on the 12th June 1941 the youth week of the UGCC and the COIO the committee of youth organization Kwame Nkrumah converted into a political party the convention people's party na 1951 osha 1950 Kwame Nkrumah declare adebia na friend positive action Emma abrofo no che Kwame Nkrumah to nipa odi Kwame Nkrumah ni year campaign man no near friend K Gbedema in 1951 election no osha CPP for the first major election in this country was the 1951 election CPP for nya 34 and UGC enya 2 seat and independent enya na me ba mu kai say JB dan kwa ono ani krom olusui Emma ono ani wo faase near friend Aaron Eugene Kofi Asante Oforiata ono ene wini achimebo akwasi in 1951 Aaron Eugene Kofi Asante Oforiata ono yebeka na asem oye obeye the speaker of parliament between 1965 and 1966 he was also a minister of interior under the Kwame Nkrumah regime na enumu no ana 1954 and also national liberation movement eno ye amanyoku anefi Asante Mantem eba ya no wura odan your friend Ochiame Bafo Osayakoto eno so omo the 1954 constitution by na 1954 constitution there near friend Nkrumah constitution etiadidima ana Frederick Bond commission by ya omo by investigation as to say Ghana a unitary state and I say a federal state interne declare say Ghana a unitary state 1957 and Ghana enya independent nemom ye benya independent na meka mo say yenya Clifford constitution in 1916 yenya the Gorgeous Best constitution in 1945 yenya the Benz constitution in 1946 yenya the Kusi constitution in 1951 and san yenya the Nkrumah constitution in 1954 ye the amanyoku any elections course in 1951 the copy 1966 no and we part 2 ye beto aso ochina enti Ghana abakosem kakra ye boaboa no e Bulgaria TV and the blind historian within the Malik Afedo the brem bitia Godfred Aprekubonso Thomas Echampo bitia yaw bi anasa yaw boate bitia any obi biara obehwe bia pacho ya no like no subscribe no share why bidiane Bulgaria the blind historian bye bye.